Eclipse presents the Horror Hideout Podcast, a podcast covering everything horror, including books, comics, and movies. Presented by Dawson Duke and Kayla Bullock.
Welcome back to another episode of Horror Hideout.
Today we are doing Guillotine by Delilah Dawson from 2024.
Not to be confused with this Dawson.
Not at all.
So, spoiler free, if you like Ready or Not, the movie, you'll probably like this book.
Or the menu.
It's
actually funny because that's what the first review I pulled up said, compared it to both of those.
Well, and I texted you when I was listening to, because I listened to the audiobook, I texted you when I was listening to it, and I said those too.
Yeah. So I actually read the physical book and you listened to the audiobook.
Yes, and I had to listen to it really fast because I was not a huge fan of the narrator. And it was Emily something, right? Or Elizabeth?
I don't know.
Started with an E. But anyway, nothing against her. I like narrators that do voices and stuff like that kind of put more oomph into it. And it was just kind of, again, it was kind of monotone.
Yeah.
And so that's just not my personal style of audiobook.
Right. It's a very short book. It's only 208 pages, so it's a quick read. And like we talked about before with other books, to me this one was kind of just a palate cleanser.
Yeah. You don't have to think about it too hard.
That's what I was trying to say. You don't have to really think about it too hard.
You were thinking too hard about not thinking too hard.
Pretty much like all spelled out for you what's going on.
Yeah.
So, so let's jump in.
Before we actually start into the story, though, there is one issue that I did have with this. The use of metaphor, I feel like, is overused to, like, a dragging down the story degree.
Oh, really? I don't remember that, but...
For a short story, the amount of metaphor there is, like, where it'll be describing a character, and it's like, she wears the pearls of a woman 20 times her age. Her dress is that of a cow. Like, I mean, obviously that's not real, but, like, it would just drone on and on with descriptive stuff and use metaphors for it, and it made it even longer.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you have a full-length book, I can understand that when it's like you really need to, like, I really want you to get to know these characters, you're going to be with them for a long time. But when you're writing a short story like this, when you have that much metaphor packed so close together, it's a lot more noticeable than in a book if it was more spread out.
Yeah.
Like a full novel.
That's true. I didn't really like our main character. I don't think it was anything with the way she was written. I just didn't like, which we'll get into. Are we ready to start talking about the story?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So our main character's name is Des, and she starts dating a guy named Patrick because she wants to get into the fashion industry. And Patrick's mom, Marie, is editor-in-chief of a big fashion magazine.
Yeah.
And the reason I say I didn't like our main character, and it's not anything to do with the writing, but she was willing to...
take advantage of Patrick.
Yeah, and to give in to whatever he wanted.
Yeah.
As an end to get to his mother.
Yeah.
And I don't like that...
Not like victim blaming, but she kind of brought it upon herself. Like how she ended up there and what happened and everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like her own choices were the catalyst for what happened. Not that it was her fault that it did happen.
Right. But she's kind of
a selfish person.
Yeah. And I don't like, okay, this is a completely different book. We will never do on the podcast. But I just read a book called Yesteryear, and this girl kind of reminded me of that main character because she was so whiny and so needy and couldn't really do anything for herself. She had to use other people to get her stuff done. And I don't like that.
Well, Des, right? That's her name. In this, Des, she kind of talks about how she's been trying with fashion for a long time and how there's some people that are just privileged where they're born into families that... And I understand all that, but I still don't know... I don't think it's defendable to use someone.
Right.
And maybe that's just because I have been used by so many people in my life that I have a lot of issues with that kind of thing. But I don't like, even if they were both using each other as a means to an end.
Well, I don't
like
people who use their sexuality as a
weapon
tool. I'm gonna sleep with him so that he'll introduce me to his mom. That just makes you not
It's like the same thing as like sleeping with your boss at work to get the promotion. That just to me personally, that's gross and shows that you don't really have any integrity and you don't have enough self-respect to think you can actually like gain
Yeah.
the position that you want.
Just like to me, you lose all credibility because you have no self-worth
Well,
left.
and another thing about it is too, is the whole like chapter where it talks about how she acts with Patrick. It isn't just that she like what irks me. It's not just that she was using him. It's also how much she lies and deceives him into the relationship.
Right.
Because she has him pick up and drop her off at like this fancy hotel or like apartment building to make it seem like she lives there. And she acts a lot more submissive than she actually is to...
Wasn't there something with her clothes? Like...
I mean, she makes her own clothes.
But wasn't it like... I don't know, like I feel like she went somewhere to buy clothes to make herself look richer than what she was.
I don't know. I think she I think what you're talking about, she bought secondhand clothes and stitched them up to make it look like she's fancier than she is.
Maybe that's what it was. But so she's not my favorite main character. That being said, I did kind of like the story. So Patrick and Des date for a little while in the city, and then he tells her that he's going away for the summer, their summer holiday, I think.
Yeah.
And he tells her that his family
has an
there's
island.
Him and a couple brothers, and the brothers already married and have kids. So the brothers and the mom and dad, the brothers and their family, the mom and dad all go to this island for like 3 times a year: Thanksgiving, Christmas, and then a week or two in the summer. But it's this private island that really nobody even really knows about.
Like, to the point, it doesn't even have a name. They if you don't know what they're referring to when they say the island, you don't belong there.
Right. And so she kind of manipulates him into inviting her.
Yeah. And it talks about how like Mom said, the whole like using sexuality as like a tool or like a weapon thing. It talks about how like this probably isn't the right terminology to use, but like how she won't like put out for him because she's trying to get invited to the island.
Yeah.
So she'll have sex with him once they're on the island, but until then she's gonna act all shy and like she doesn't.
Yeah. Well, she does other things other than straight up sex, but she won't sleep with him.
Yeah. Kind of like dangling a carrot.
Yeah. So he ends up inviting her to the island.
Which I don't like Patrick either.
I don't either.
I don't
think we think Patrick's like the greatest guy on earth.
I don't think I really like any of the characters in this book.
I liked the main servant girl.
Yeah.
I don't remember her name.
Yeah.
But you're right. Patrick's a playboy, and
Patrick sucks, and
he's using her just as much as she's using him. I mean,
and she even says like the reason that she hasn't slept with him yet is because if she does sleep with him, she knows he'll discard him. That he will discard her.
Right.
Like a used, like dirty clothes or something. I don't remember that.
Like a dress from a cow.
Yeah. Something like that.
It's gonna be my favorite thing from now on. Like a dress for a cow.
I couldn't think of anything, and my mind went to leather, which, is like cow skin, but it just came out as from a cow.
Oh, that's funny.
And I'll explain more what I mean about the metaphor stuff whenever we get later into the story, because there's something I want to talk about with the mom.
Yeah. Remind me.
Or not even just metaphor, I just mean going into descriptive detail.
Remind me after this to tell you a funny story from this weekend.
Okay.
It had nothing to do with the podcast, but I want to tell you. So anyway, he does end up inviting her to the island. And so, but I think, like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but he picks her up, and as they're driving, he smarts off something about knowing she doesn't actually live where he keeps picking her up. And she kind of freaks out and is like, should I get out of the car? Should I even go with him?
I know that happens. I don't remember if it was in the car.
I thought it was, because I thought
it might
in
be
the middle of nowhere.
Okay. Because I thought maybe that was when they got to, like, the docks or whatever.
I thought it was in the car because I remember thinking maybe it was before they actually got on the boat. But anyway,
I know it's before they get on the boat.
so at some point in there that happens. But I mean, it's like I don't remember how long she says, but it's a really long drive to get to the boat just to have this boat take them to the island.
And again, like, it's a private island. It's not like the only people that live there are like this family's servants.
Yeah. And
again, it's a lot like the menu.
What do they talk about? Like the Coast Guard circles the island like once a day at a certain time.
Yeah, but I don't remember details.
There's something for like they have a signal set up with the Coast Guard that would flag if there was issues or something, or if there was issues, there was light. I don't remember, but something. So it's not an island people visit. It's just not like it's like you said. It doesn't even have a name.
Yeah,
it's not on maps. It's just out there. So
she gets to the island.
Well, on the boat, I want to talk about that for just a second. So I do have to give her a little bit of credit because she tries to be nice to the servant. I'm just gonna call them servants. The servants, but they won't even speak to her. And
are they all wearing pink here?
Yes. And she is told later on the island that
one of the rules is you don't talk to the staff.
Yes. So she's trying to be nice and they just won't. But anyway, so they get to the island.
And there's the horses.
Yes.
They have all these horses on the island and they have a stable and things like that. But these horses, I think she describes it as like there's too many teeth in their mouth, or it's like their teeth are too big for their mouth, or like there's just something off about them.
Yeah.
Which I kind of thought was going to come back. And it kind of does, but not really.
I wondered if that was just her, though. Like, if she didn't grow...
she might just be freaked out by horses. Because she does mention that.
I kind of got that impression that it was just her. Because they say they're, like, purebred.
Yeah, they're like race horses or something. Like,
yeah.
I wanted to bring up the horses.
So, when they get to the island, the first thing they do is go see Patrick's father. And she has to sign an NDA.
Yes.
Non-disclosure agreement.
That basically says she won't talk about anything that happened on the island. She won't, not even police or lawyers or anyone.
Right. And I think this is where it comes up that you don't talk to the servants.
Yeah, that's on the list. I don't remember what else is on there, but...
I don't remember, but mainly is you keep your mouth shut regardless of what happens on the island. And if she didn't sign it, they would have just put her back on the boat and sent her back home.
Yeah.
Which I don't really believe that would have happened. Do you?
I don't know. I think it could go either way, because she hadn't seen anything yet.
It's not really the family that's the violent ones.
Yeah.
You know, so... Anyway, so... but they also tell... I don't remember what the dad mentions, but he mentions something and, like, he tells her that, yes, they've researched her background and they know everything about her, and she really does kind of debate it for a little while, but she ends up signing it because she just really wants to meet Marie.
Mm-hmm.
And so
she ends up meeting the wives.
Yeah. So as they're walking up to the house before she goes in and meets the dad, there's a pool there, and then there's another pool on the other side of the house. And so when she gets done with the dad, he takes her outside, or he tells her she should go around to the other side of the house and meet the other wives. Or the wives, I guess she's not a wife. That Patrick, I don't know, what are they doing? Going hunting or golfing or something?
Patrick and his two brothers are going off to do something else.
Yeah. So she goes and meets the wives.
And one of the wives has like two kids that are playing in the water.
Yeah. And the other one has kids too, right?
I don't know, maybe.
I don't remember.
I just thought one of the wives had a kid.
Maybe.
But I might be wrong. Or had two kids, maybe. But I might be wrong.
But the wives are just very cold and standoffish.
Yeah. Like, they don't really try to get to know anything about her or anything.
Yeah.
And it's... They kind of have a snooty attitude, like they're better than her.
Yeah. Which, I mean, if the whole family knows she doesn't have money, they probably think she is. They probably think she's a gold digger.
Yeah, which she kind of is. I mean, not for money, but she's doing it to try to network. So I don't know. But anyway, here she kind of learns. One of them makes a comment because there's two little boys. That's one of the wives' kids, and maybe one is from each wife. I don't know. But anyway, there's two little boys.
No, I think you're right. I think they both belong to the same wife.
And
same mom.
I think, is it Des? I don't know why I struggle with that name so much, but I think Des says something about it, and one of the wives is like, "Oh, they always have male children, like whatever the family name
One of them's
is."
pregnant. And
Yeah.
She asks her if she knows what she's gonna have. She says, "It's a boy. We always have boys."
Yeah. So there's just like all these little things that keep happening that are just kind of a little off.
Yeah.
So I think it's the first night. They have dinner and stuff, and she's not too enthused about what they have to eat.
It's like a full, like, 7-course meal.
Yeah.
And when she goes up to her room, her and Patrick are not sharing a room. When she goes up to her room, somebody has laid out.
Does she go to his room the first night?
I don't remember.
Okay.
But when she goes to her room, somebody has laid out like a really fancy, like, designer outfit for her to wear to dinner.
Yes.
And
she had a pink sundress that is missing.
Yes.
And someone had mentioned to her before, one of the wives had mentioned before, did you bring anything pink? Because it'll be gone when you get back to your room.
Yeah.
Because only the servants wear pink.
Yeah. And I can't remember, is there no cell phone service on the island?
I believe so.
Or did they take her cell phone?
She doesn't have a phone for some reason. I don't remember why.
I can't remember if they don't have service or if
I feel like maybe they don't have service.
If it was part that they had to...
It might be both.
I can't remember. But anyway.
I do think in the NDA there's something about phones.
No.
No?
Maybe. Maybe I'm getting the wrong book.
It's not super important.
So anyway, she goes to dinner and it's just kind of an awkward, like, very formal, like,
yeah,
they don't really talk to each other during dinner, and they have servants in pink that, you know, I'm picturing like actually kind of like the menu where they all bring them out and set them and take the what's that called, a cloche,
I don't know,
off at the same time, and there's your food and, like, you know, all that stuff. And Marie is there, but she doesn't even speak to Des.
Yeah, and has not spoken to Des at all.
Yeah, I think this may be the first time she meets her.
I think you're right. But I don't... Do we learn much at dinner? I don't...
Just that the family's weird.
Yeah, I don't really think we learn a whole lot. And, I'm pretty sure the first night, like, they go into... Patrick and Des go into Patrick's suite, and they finally make love. But she talks about it, and she kind of talks about it clinically, and is like, he pleasured himself and then fell asleep without even asking if he pleasured me, and he did it.
Right.
But then I think she ends up going back to her room.
Yes, she does.
And she gets hungry because she didn't really eat dinner. She kind of picked at it.
Yeah.
So she goes to the kitchen and eavesdrops on a conversation between the servants.
So she goes downstairs, but she doesn't go down the main stairwell. She has seen a back stairwell
For the servants.
that the servants use.
And she took that. And that was talked about in the NDA, that you stay out of servant
quarters, areas,
walkways,
whatever,
yeah. So I think it's 3 servants that are talking amongst themselves.
I think so.
And Des kind of eavesdrops on their conversation for a little bit before one of them sees her. And I think she drops a plate and it breaks.
Yeah.
Like one of the servants does. So anyway, she ends up talking to the servants and is like, is there like any real food here? Like, I just want a bag of Cheetos. So they end up giving her some food and she goes back to her room. But what were the servants talking about?
Something she shouldn't have overheard. I actually think they're talking about her.
They might be.
Kind of like how she doesn't fit in.
Yeah. Anyway,
But
so
they
they
take her.
tell her.
They take her back
Yeah.
up the main staircase, and they're like, "Don't ever use that one again."
Yeah. And I don't know if we learn it right here, but we kind of learned throughout the book. She mentions it a few times. Dez's mom was a cleaner, right?
Yeah, at a hotel.
At a big fancy hotel. And so she was used to going, like, she was used to being the servant and, like, having to go through the back walkways and stuff, which is kind of why she kind of feels at home with these people.
Yeah.
And, like...
Well, I mean, we're not poor by any means,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't feel comfortable going to somebody's house, like in this book, and, like, hanging out with people that are stupidly rich. I mean, I'd probably have more in common with the workers at the house. I mean...
I agree.
Can you imagine going somewhere and, like, getting ready to go to dinner and somebody's put a dress on your... Not that you wear dresses, but somebody's put clothes on your bed because what you have is not good enough to go to dinner with them at their own house?
Yeah.
Like, you know, I can't wrap my head around that, but...
Well, and that's another thing about her, is she gets that dress and she puts it on. It's some designer dress that she recognizes as, like, a Chanel or whatever. And... one of her first thoughts is like, oh, I wonder if I get to keep this.
Yeah.
So she is just kind of very, like, self-centered, like, worried about herself.
Yeah. So anyway, the next morning she sleeps in, and she goes downstairs to get breakfast, and Patrick is mad at her that she slept in.
And that she came down in pajamas.
She came down in pajamas. But she gets down there, I think, right when they're finishing up breakfast.
Yeah.
And the dad tells everybody that one of the horses is foaling.
Yes.
So they're going to go out to the barn. And Patrick's mad at Des. So she goes upstairs and gets ready.
Yeah, changes out of her pajamas. She kind of chastises herself in her head. She's like, you should have known you're at a rich person's house. Why would you go downstairs in your pajamas?
I would.
I would too. And she also is like, no one gave me a schedule or told me a time to be up or tried to wake me up.
Yeah.
And so when Patrick's kind of freaking out on her, he's like, you can ask the servants to wake you up.
But didn't somebody at some point prior to that tell her, like, meals are served at blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah? Or maybe that was another book I just read.
I don't think, if they do, I don't think it's till after this. I think it's when Patrick is kind of crashing out on her.
Okay. So... she goes upstairs and gets ready, and by the time she gets back downstairs, everybody else is already at the stable. So she goes to make her way there, and she's walking past the paddock with all the horses, and she talks about how the horses are... there's probably a lot of metaphors in there. But the horses all, like, come charging at her like they're going to kill her through the fence.
And stop, like, right... or no, they start bucking against the fence.
And, like, gnashing their teeth at her and stuff, and she's...
So I think a servant comes out.
Yeah. Well, she screams.
Yeah.
And, I think Patrick comes out, because I think, again, she kind of embarrassed him.
I thought it was that male servant that was on the boat.
Oh, maybe it was.
And he leads her somewhere.
Yeah. Well, he takes her where the foal was born.
Yeah. It might be Patrick, though, because I think Patrick might chew her out being like, why were you antagonizing the horses, or, you know, something like that.
I think so, but I could be wrong. So...
it's been like a week since I listened to the audiobook of this, so I'm a little...
I read it like 2 weeks ago. But, I think this is really, like, the only time we see any kind of emotion or compassion from the dad, with his grandkids. Because I think he's, like, holding one of them up to see the baby and all that. But nothing else really happens in this scene.
And you get, like, if it's not obvious already, you can tell from the book that this family is very old-fashioned and conservative in a way where it's like women are supposed to, like, be seen and not heard, and, like...
had the babies.
Yeah.
Have the boys. I think one of the moms or wives even says that, like, that's our job, is just to have
I think it's
boys.
the pregnant one.
Yeah. So, Patrick ends up doing something else with his dad and his brother, so she ends up just going to the other pool.
Yeah. Because she's sick of the kids.
Yeah. Because she wants some peace and quiet. So really nothing really happens until nighttime that night.
Yeah.
And so,
Which is when the gun comes involved.
I think so. Go
Are
ahead.
they at dinner?
Yeah.
Do you remember her name? It's the like head female servant, right, that pulls it out. So there's like a female servant, and I think it's a revolver, if I'm remembering correctly. But she pulls out a gun and she's threatening the family and talking about how abused they all are, and how like pretty much they need to be overthrown, and that the servants have been talking and they're done. So the dad immediately starts going to, oh, do you want money? We can pay you. How much do you want? Like, how much money do you want? And the head servant lady is pretty much like, your mind always goes to money first. That's all you ever think about is money. And there's other things in this world than money. And, I mean, you find out a lot more about what has happened to these servants as we get further in the book. Yeah. Oh, while you're looking to see if you can find that lady's name, I wanted to talk about the mom. They mentioned that the mom is wearing pearls that belong to someone. Marie Antoinette or someone.
Yes.
And what I mean about like the metaphor thing and like going super in description, in this book, the author focuses on the pearls and talks about them a lot, but I didn't necessarily think they were going to come back later, because she goes into so much detail on every single thing and has a metaphor for every single thing.
Yeah.
That I did not think these pearls were going to come back later. And so they didn't really stick in my head.
Oh, yeah.
And normally, like Chekhov's gun, you want the thing that's coming back later to kind of be there in the reader's mind a little bit.
Yeah.
So they're not going back and being like, what pearls are they talking about?
Yeah, that's true.
And so when you have that much description, it takes away from the things that you want people to remember.
Right.
Does that make sense? Like,
yeah.
Did you find her name?
No.
Well, we can just call her the head servant girl.
And I do know what you mean, because, like, I forgot about them until they came back later. Too,
yeah.
So.
And I do think that happens sometimes with, like, the Chekhov's gun thing, where you'll read about something early in a story and then it comes back at the end. But, then I still feel like it sticks in your mind a little bit just because the author did draw attention to it. But in this, the author draws attention to so many things, like the horses, that don't go anywhere.
See, and I thought
the horses, I guess the horses kind of do go somewhere a little bit, but I don't feel like the payoff was worth the emphasis on them.
Well, and, I that's what I agree. I was going to say, too. I just don't think it was... I don't know. Like, the horses... Like, I feel like a lot of what you're saying, like, the metaphors and stuff like that, like, I feel like a lot of that could have been cut out and we would have been left with a short story that packed more of a punch.
Yeah,
than...
yeah. I feel like...
Even, like... the character development of Des and Patrick before they get to the island, like, even that, like, you know, to me, as a short story, here's this poor girl who's just looking for her way into the fashion industry. She may have a way in. We don't need to know that she's, like, conniving and sneaky and all of that. And then all hell breaks loose on the island.
Yeah.
Like,
see, and I think this even
for her more.
Okay, so this is kind of written from like a omniscient third point of view, where we kind of get views of what like kind of everyone is what's going through like everyone's mind kind of, but it's kind of mainly focused on her. Yeah. Like, I would say it's it's mostly third person. What's it called when it's like focused on one person?
I don't remember.
Anyway. It's mostly that, but I do think there's some omniscient moments where you get snippets of other people.
Yeah.
And I wonder if this story would have worked better if it had been a third person, but it did not focus so much on Des being a faker and being fake and all that at the very beginning.
Right.
And that had been a reveal later in the story that she was using Patrick to get to the mom.
Yeah.
I feel like we could have had that reveal later in
that
it.
might have packed a whole lot more punch if we go through, because we haven't talked about what happens on the island, but like if we started with her getting off the boat at the island,
yeah,
and then toward the end we find out.
And even if you wanted to have some of that beginning stuff, like their first date and stuff, have that be flashbacks later or something like that.
But that would have been like an oh wow moment at the end to be like, oh my gosh, she really doesn't belong here.
Yeah,
you know.
I'm not saying it's a bad story. I'm just wondering if it could have used a little bit more revision.
Yeah.
And I think either A, more of it needed to be cut to make it a shorter short story that packs more of a punch, or B, I think the idea truly could have been expanded into a longer novel that lets you have that more detail and stuff without it feeling like it's bogging down the story.
See, I think it would have packed more of a punch as a short story.
I agree. And I would argue a lot of concepts that get turned into full-length books could have been a better short story.
Yeah.
Because when you get too deep into it and you explain too much or you over-describe things, that takes away the horror of it.
Right. I do think, though, with this one, when the action picks up, it picks up.
Yeah. Speaking of, back to the gun. Do you want to talk for a little bit about that?
Go ahead.
So, she kind of mainly has the gun focused on the father.
Yeah.
Obviously she's keeping on everybody, but she's kind of focusing it on the father. And I talked about all the money stuff. He offers money and stuff like that. So she ends up shooting him, right?
Yeah.
But not fatally.
I thought she did.
I thought she shot him somewhere and then takes him to the horses.
Maybe she does. I don't remember.
I think she shoots him somewhere and then takes him and throws him with the horses, and the horses rip him apart. Or stomp on him or something.
Maybe. I honestly don't remember. Like
Okay.
I said, it's been a couple weeks. I thought she shot him.
I don't think she just shoots him, because I think she makes the point of saying, you deserve more than just a quick death.
Oh, I think you're right.
But that's...
Don't they, like, tie him before horses?
That might be what they do. They might, like, draw and quarter him.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean about the horse payoff, is, like, that's kind of the payoff, and I don't really feel like that is what was earned.
Yeah.
Like, I thought it was going to come back with Dez in some way.
Yeah. You know, the more I think about this one, the more I would compare it to the menu, because I liked...
The menu had a very tight script.
Well, I liked the main girl in the menu, too.
That's true, yeah.
And we, like... If you haven't seen the menu, we did an episode about the menu. And so, spoiler for the movie, but, like, we know from the beginning she's paid to be there.
Yeah.
Like, she's not part of that in crowd. And so... But I liked her.
You don't. That's a later reveal.
Oh, I thought it was pretty early on.
No, because remember, they're on the boat and stuff, and they say the wrong name on the clipboard.
Yeah.
But you don't know that she's hired yet. So
Right,
you just
okay.
assume he's taking another woman. And then they're, like, inside, and...
If you've watched it more than once, though, there is a part at the very beginning where she says something about it's your money or your dollar or something.
But I think that's even after the clipboard thing. So, like, there is hints throughout the movie, but I don't think that's truly revealed until partway through the movie.
I was reading something the other day, and it said something about the mouthfeel of something, and all I could think about was that movie, which was like, please don't say mouthfeel.
Yeah. But that... Maybe that's why I think this story would work better in that way, is because maybe in my mind I'm thinking of the menu and how they did do that. That they later revealed that she was hired.
Yeah. Maybe. I don't know.
Because the reason you find out is because she was sleeping with that guy.
Right.
The older guy.
Yeah. I don't know. I like that girl, so I don't know if I can compare this one to the menu.
I would say I would rather watch the menu than read this one again.
Yeah. Definitely.
But the menu also has a lot more commentary in it and kind of sticks with you. I mean, it's still kind of funny and stuff, but I feel like the social commentary in it sticks with me a little bit more than in this.
Yeah.
And I think part of the reason for that is because in this book, it was so blatantly spelled out and in your face that there wasn't anything to think about.
Yeah.
Whereas in the menu, it delves into those themes without, like, overplaying its hand.
Yeah. And I mean, in the menu, like, even the main chef's really not evil. I mean, yes, he does evil stuff, but he's not really a bad guy.
He is, because he does those bad things, and I think it's fine to say that he is a bad person for setting all that up and doing all of that. But I also think it's okay to say that you can have empathy and see where he's coming from.
Right. I guess that's what I mean. Anyway, back to... Anyway, go check out our episode about the menu, but let's go back to Guillotine. So, after she shoots the dad, everybody kind of scatters. Right?
Yeah. But...
And so,
all the servants have turned.
Okay, that's what I was getting ready to say. I didn't know if you had mentioned that.
Yeah, so it's not really like they can, like, run away. They're still stuck on the island. And they really don't know, like, the family has no idea how to do anything because the servants control the security system and all that stuff. So they can't escape.
And there's only one phone, and it's in Dad's office?
Yes.
And we do find out...
I think it's also the only place on the island that has, like, internet or something.
Yes. And we also find out at this, somewhere in here, that there is a safe room in the house, too.
Yeah. More than one.
I thought there was just one because they try to get into it. And they can't get into it.
I think right here we only hear about one, but there's another one that gets brought up later.
Oh, I thought there was just one.
The mom brings up that there's another one later.
Oh, okay.
So anyway.
I don't remember the order of death.
I don't either, so we can just dive into them.
Yeah. So...
There's one brother who he locked one of the servants in a chest and forgot about her.
Yes.
Did she die? No.
No.
Because she's the one that locks him in the chest.
Yes.
So what happened to her? Did she get burnt? Didn't he lock her in a chest and then later somehow he caught her face on fire?
It was something to do with something with the... Like, he burnt her and then put her in the trunk.
Okay.
Or something, because they could have fixed it, but they couldn't after so long had went by.
Yeah.
They could have... I mean, not fixed it, but they could have, damage controlled.
And the brother tries to argue, like, I was a kid, I didn't really understand what I was doing. And she's like, no, you were however old you were, and you did that because you knew you wouldn't get in trouble.
Yeah.
And so like all of the servants have been, like, taken advantage of and abused, and...
Yeah. So
and you find out, I'm just going to spoil this now because I don't remember exactly where you find out, but basically you find out that all the women, like all the servants on the island, are the female children from that family.
Even the males.
Yeah.
That are servants. Obviously they didn't keep the girls. The girls, which I don't know where the original servants came from.
I mean, there's
the girls were raised by the servants.
I'm going to warn you right before I say this, but, like, they talk about, like, incest stuff. Like, these girls get raped by the men. Yes. Like the servant girls.
Yes. And so, so when a girl is born, they will take them and the servants will raise the girls.
Yeah.
But the boys who are servants are ones that were decided they weren't worthy enough or smart enough to carry on the family name and really be part of the family. And I don't remember what the age is where they decided that.
Yeah.
But, like, I mean, these kids, they're not kids, but no schooling, no formal education. Like, all they've ever known is this island.
And how to serve.
Yeah. And so, which, I mean, kind of came as a shock because I wasn't really, like, I thought they were just rebelling against, the rich people.
We really need to do an episode on the compound. I think it's S.E. Hinton that did that one. Talking about some of the stuff in this book keeps making me think back to that book, and I think you would like that one. That one, the world is ending, and this family goes down in a bunker.
I actually just bought that book.
Did you?
I think so.
We need it. We really should do that on the podcast sometime.
So go back to what's happening on
Yes. So everyone kind of gets split off. Patrick and Dez end up together. And Dez has the idea that they need to go to Patrick's suite for something. I don't remember why.
So, I was wrong. That's not the compound I just bought.
Okay.
That's a different one. But it's by S.A. Bodine.
Bowden?
Bowden?
That
oh,
might
no,
be.
there's 2 E's, so Bodine.
I don't know. That might be the one I'm talking
Is
about.
there more than one book? They've lived in an underground compound for 6 years.
Yeah. Don't read the synopsis for the second book.
I won't.
That's it. Who's S.E. Hinton then?
He wrote The Outsiders.
Oh, yeah. I'm just getting them confused. That's all it was. Anyway, where was I? Oh, and I don't remember why they need to go back to Patrick's suite, but for some reason Dez wants to go back there. And
He has a... Does he have a gun or a knife or...
probably. I think you're right. I think he has a hunting gun. Anyway, so they're gonna go back there, and she mentions it to Patrick, and Patrick is like, "Why? I don't want to have sex right now." And so it's just like, I understand that people like this exist, but that was another moment for me that kind of took me out of the story, because it was just so on the nose.
But I also think that... I agree, but I think the point of that was to show you how, like, really self-centered he really is.
Yeah,
like,
he just thinks about his
my
desires.
dad just got shot, and
Yeah.
all I want, like, you know, like, this is what she wants from me.
Yeah. See, and I get that. I don't know. I guess it, like, goes through the point of, like, these people are, like, they dehumanize others, and so they themselves have dehumanized themselves.
Right. Like, and all that matters is what he wants. Like,
Yeah.
You know.
But to me, it just felt like... I don't know. It just felt like too much.
It was a very odd line. It was very badly placed and very just like...
Yeah. I like you saying it felt badly placed. It felt like it was out of place.
Yeah, like it was... I'm sure she was giving no... Which, obviously, it's a book, but she was giving no indication that that's what she had in mind, you know?
And I could understand if it was like... She pulled the gun and everyone scattered and they had not seen the father die, and that line had happened. But I just feel like with the context and everything around it, that line maybe should have been cut.
Yeah. So, again, I don't remember the order of death of everybody, but we do see the pregnant sister.
Yes.
She is on their bed, and she has been murdered, and they have taken the baby.
Yes. And we later learn from the servants that the baby was a girl, and that they're gonna raise her.
So did you catch where... So, like, this lady was pregnant.
Yeah.
She had a baby.
Yes.
She would have had a baby. I mean, obviously, they took the baby, but she would have had a baby. So where... So she had a girl. So where would a boy have come from? You know, do you see what I'm asking? Like...
I think they would have just acted like she wasn't pregnant. Like, she never had a kid.
But she had to go back home around people, like her family, her friends, and all that.
But we don't know. We don't know if they would know. Maybe once you join that family, they make you cut people off.
But I mean, they still have a life outside of the family.
Maybe they don't. If they're rich enough.
Okay.
If their needs are met.
For some reason, I was thinking there was something in there about, like, because you said, like, the rape and the incest and stuff. I was thinking maybe there was, but...
Or maybe they can just say miscarriage, or they lost the baby in birth, or stillborn, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah. So, yeah. So, we know she's gone. And then the 2 boys, the sons, disappear. And we never see them again.
But one of the servants does say that they did not kill them.
Yes. That they took them in and they're somewhere safe.
Yeah. What happens to the other brother?
Something in the kitchen.
Because there's one
remember,
wife.
He's the one that... No, basement. He's the one that raped other boys And so they do things to him, and then they put him in a bucket and fill it up with concrete.
Yeah.
And they even pour concrete in his mouth so it fills up his lungs. That would be a horrible way to die.
And then there's the other wife. What happens to her?
What are they? Back to the one in the box, though. They put something in there with him. Is it
cockroaches?
I thought it was something worse than that. I thought it was something that could bite him.
Scorpions.
Scorpions.
Because when he locked her in the box, it was cockroaches.
Yeah.
But she did scorpions.
Yeah.
It was scorpions,
yeah.
right?
And so as we go through this, like, the main servant lady, she shot the dad, but everything else that's happening, she's just encouraging people that they have hurt.
Yeah.
To hurt them.
Yeah.
The other wife.
I don't remember. I truly don't.
I don't either. I know the mom. They murder her in the kitchen.
No.
I thought they did. I thought that when she went, I thought she went down the servant stairs again and watched them torture the mom in the kitchen.
Are you sure that's not the other wife?
Maybe it is.
Because the mom's in the closet.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So that must be the other wife.
Yeah, and I don't remember exactly what they do to her, but they kill her in the kitchen.
Yeah. There's a lot of kind of gory details in this. It kind of reminded me of Seven Rabbits in that way, like how it went into some of the, because like Seven Rabbits, there's like when they burn that guy's face and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Also,
I liked Seven Rabbits a whole lot better than I like this. Again, I did not hate this story. I know we're going pretty hard on it.
Yeah.
I don't think this was a bad story. Like you said, it's kind of a palate cleanser one. It wasn't too heavy. It had some gore.
Okay, now when we say that, it's pretty gory.
Yeah.
But it's not, like, everything is spelled out for you where you don't really have to think much about it.
Yeah. That's what we mean by palate cleanser.
Yeah.
And
short. That's another thing for me. Usually my palate cleansers are pretty short.
So, anyway, Des and the mom end up in the same room together. And the lead servant girl is there too.
That there's another safe room.
Not yet. Because the lead servant girl talks to them first. Okay. And she makes a deal with Des that they won't kill Des if Des kills the mom, so she has the blood on her hands, so she can't go tell the police what happened.
Right.
So then they lock the mom and Des in the closet, but they have Dez's hands tied with the pearls.
Right.
Which, this is what I was saying earlier about the pearls come back, and I feel like it could have had a bigger impact if we did not have so much detail about every single thing.
Right.
So when they're in the closet, the monster's pleading, and she's like, "Oh, let me loose, let the pearls off my wrist." There's another safe room, I think in the closet. You can access it through the closet somehow or something.
Yeah.
And
it was something like a panel at the bottom, like underneath all of her clothes that popped out.
And Des says, "Me and Patrick already tried that, it didn't work." And so she ends up taking like a stiletto. And does she strangle the mom and then slit her throat?
She strangles her and she thinks she's dead, and then she's not. You know, the famous horror movie thing where you double tap.
And then she slits her neck with like a really sharp stiletto, right?
Yeah.
So then she comes
Which
out.
I don't even know if that's physically possible.
I don't know. I don't know about slitting. Because the stilettos are really small.
Does she slit it, or does she just kind of like?
She might just drive it through. Because I'm gonna say I do think you could drive it through someone's neck.
Yeah, I think.
I don't know for sure. I'm not like.
Actually, she does do that because remember she stands up and like stomps on it at the very end.
So anyway, so she kind of gets off like scot-free. You know, the servants don't want to kill her because they like relate to her and stuff. And the mom, when she was being choked, was trying to be like, "Oh, I can give you anything. We know who your father is." And Des kind of a realization of like, "Oh, if they're so like." One of the wives was like a Kennedy, and the other one was like, I don't know, a Rockefeller or something. And so she's like, why would they have accepted me if they investigated my background? I come from a poor mom.
Right.
And she's kind of always suspected, because she's not stupid, she says that.
The hotel manager.
The owner, like the CEO of the hotels.
Yeah.
She thinks that that's her father, and that that's why her mom was always employed as a cleaning lady at these hotels.
Yeah.
But she doesn't know that for sure. So then she kills the mom without the mom telling her that that's who her dad is. That's just what she's thinking. And then when she goes out there, the servant lady's like, we could check your lineage and see who your dad is. She said no, and she's like, no, destroy the record. I don't want to know. And that's kind of how it ends.
What happened to Patrick?
Is he the one in the box?
No, he's the one with the fire, and didn't he get burned outside?
Oh yeah, you're right.
Fire?
So that's the one with. Is that the one with the lady with the burnt face then?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So do you want to talk about that?
So when she comes out of the closet, she hears people screaming for Patrick.
I forgot to talk about the rings. So the wives have the big diamond rings, and the men all wear this ring that has the family crest on it. And this is like another thing where they over-explain stuff. Des kind of suspects that that's how they were tracking them, was through the rings.
Yeah.
And then later on, one of the servants is like, oh yeah, we were tracking you guys through the rings. And it's like, you don't need to have someone spat out say that in text if you already said, oh, she suspects.
Right.
So anyway, that's how they were tracking people. And so she found that out, or she figured that out in her head. So she was thinking like, well, I don't need to stick with Patrick. There's no reason for me to stick with him. I'm just going to leave. And so she got separated from him at some point. Right?
Yeah. And so before they go in the closet, this is where we learn about the Coast Guard coming by. And so Marie sends Des into her room to write help on the window and lipstick, and then she's doing something in her room. But the servants stop it, and when Des gets free and goes back in there, it's all been cleaned off.
Yeah. And so do you want to talk about Patrick?
I don't really remember much. I just remember the big bonfire and they're yelling for Patrick.
Yeah, earlier I said the girl got her face burnt. He's the one that got her face burnt.
Yeah.
So she wasn't locked in the box then, because
right.
that was two different ones. But I don't know. I don't remember exactly what happens.
Don't they like burn him with stick? Like they. I feel like she gets like a stick out of the fire that's
and
like
stabs him with it.
Stabs him.
Yeah, I think so.
I think he's a pretty gruesome death, and it takes a while for him to die.
Yeah.
I think they all kind of get in on his death.
Yeah.
Kind of taking turns.
Yeah, I don't really remember all that well.
And so then we find out that
the one that kind of stuck with me was the box for some reason.
Yeah. Mine was the concrete. So then you have to have your evil villain reveal the whole plan. So their whole plan was to, and they do it, they take all the bodies and put them on the yacht and then set the yacht on fire.
And because they have records that they are legitimate children to this family, they can split the inheritance among themselves.
Yes. And
go live lives.
But I have lots of questions. I understand that, you put all the bodies on a... Okay, well, first of all, here's my main thing is, so you put this guy in a thing of concrete and you fill him up with concrete through his mouth, and then it talks about they just throw him over their shoulder or something. First of all, I don't see that happening. But second of all, wouldn't they still be able to tell that he had concrete in his stomach even after being burnt?
Well, if they put him on the yacht and lit the yacht on fire, that would potentially make it sink. If it sinks to the bottom of the ocean, I don't know if they're going to dredge up the bodies.
That's true. I don't know. It just seems like not a very good plan when you're ripping people apart with horses and putting them in concrete and
cutting a baby out of someone.
Yeah.
Even that. How are they going to deal with that? Yeah.
You would think that.
Oh yeah, she gave birth right before she left on the yacht that caught on fire.
Yeah. Well, maybe. Well, but then how would you explain how the baby's still alive on the island and she left without the baby?
Yeah.
The baby's still alive.
Which
I do have.
I do think they could argue oh yeah, they left the baby with the servant. She didn't want to have to deal with it. Rich people have nannies and stuff.
Yeah, but I don't think you'd leave your baby on an island while you were.
I don't know. I'm not rich.
I do have to say, though, I did like that they didn't kill the baby and they
Yeah.
didn't kill the kids.
I
don't
think-
like that.
I think overall the book was well written, other than the over description. But that's not a sign of a bad writer. You just need to be able to pace yourself a little more.
I just think,
Like,
to
be
me,
able to hold back a
to
little
me,
bit.
I wonder if she had it in her mind that it was going to be a novel or
Yeah,
a novella, and
Didn't have enough.
she kept adding to it just because I think it really would have packed a punch as like
A short story.
100-page short story.
Yeah.
I feel like I would have closed the book and just kind of sat there like, wow, that was pretty powerful, and I didn't get that with this one.
Yeah.
Um,
Again, it wasn't bad. If you like kind of revenge stories,
and I'm kind of annoyed that Des lived. Because she wasn't a good
Yeah.
person either.
yeah.
I mean, not that she tortured the servants or anything,
Yeah.
but she just wasn't a good person.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was going to be a menu situation where the servants are like, we don't want to live either.
Were you surprised to find out they were actually family?
I don't know. I don't really remember how I felt, but I don't think I was too surprised because I've read things that have had similar plot twists. So it didn't catch me that off guard. But I think it was a good twist.
Yeah.
And I think everything...
To me, it was one I didn't see coming. Like, I thought that their issue was that they were tired of being servants.
Yeah.
So I did think it was, I thought it was a pretty good twist, but I don't know. I'd probably give it 3 out of 5 stars if I had to rate it.
I think I'm gonna do 10 stars even though you're doing 5. But,
I do 5 because that's what Goodreads does.
yeah. If we're doing it out of 5, I think I'd give it like a 4, maybe a 3.5. It wasn't bad. I don't necessarily think it. I don't think I'll ever read it again.
I don't think
But-
I would either.
I think there's certain things that may stay with me. Like I said, the box and stuff.
Now, I do think as a movie, some of those scenes would have been really disturbing.
Yeah. I agree.
But I feel like some parts we have way too much information.
In some parts
and
we
some
don't have
parts
enough.
we don't have enough. Like, were the wives involved with mistreating the servants? Like, we never really...
I think they kind of
kinda
talk
touch on,
about
like,
that. And it's not necessarily that they abused them, but that they knew that the abuse was happening
Yeah.
and did nothing about it.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It's my first book by her, and I will read more by her.
I have a question for you though. If the servants had waited and turned later after, basically what I'm asking is, how much do you think Des would have let slide to meet his mom? Like, do you think if she found out some of this stuff that she would have tried to get out? Because she kind of starts, again, it kind of reminds me, we talked about this when we talked about Seven Rabbits. They kind of, both the main characters in these, kind of dismiss red flags.
Right. And we've talked about that with, we talked about that a lot with Seven Rabbits.
Yeah.
Like, how far does peer pressure go?
Yeah.
I would like, as an optimist, to say that she would have been like, whoa, my career's not worth
Yeah.
this, being involved in all of this. But I don't know.
But I wonder how much she would have let herself or let others get hurt for a chance.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder if they had waited longer.
Right. And what are the wives' backgrounds? Like, did they know before they married into the family that things went the way they did?
I don't know, but they're both from rich families.
Right. But I'm just saying, like, for this particular family, did they know that
Yeah.
this is going on? Did they know that if you have a daughter, you're not going to keep her? You know, like, she's going to be a servant.
Yeah.
How much of that do you know? Do you sign a prenuptial agreement that says, you know,
You can't talk about this
never
stuff.
divorce,
Like, yeah.
and, you know, this is
Like the
know?
NDA.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't either.
I would like to give her benefit of the doubt, but I would say she probably would have done whatever she had to get her career going.
Yeah.
But then on the flip side of that,
Oh,
like
and she also
earlier, like,
she talks about
do the wives have careers?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously Marie does, but
Yeah.
like,
I don't remember if they talk about it.
No,
what we
talked about.
I know, but I'm saying
like,
I don't remember in the book if they talked about the wives having careers. I don't think they did. But so Des does want, at the beginning, she does want to be a fashion designer, but by the end, she's changed her mind because she hates rich people now.
Yeah.
And that's who she'd be making clothes for.
Yeah.
And I don't really feel like her story came full circle. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. I always, like, okay, so, like, Seven Rabbits. We'll go back to Seven Rabbits. I was rooting for Chase. Because if you haven't read Seven Rabbits or you haven't listened to our episode, this is a spoiler, but, so, the basis of Seven Rabbits is a group of high school boys are on their beginning of the football season kickoff, like, weekend getaway, and they start getting murdered. And you find out through the book that they have all sexually assaulted high school girls.
Yeah.
Except for Chase. But Chase's girlfriend got pregnant. And
they recorded Chase having sex with her at, like, a party.
But he didn't know that.
No.
But Chase to me was kind of innocent. Like,
but
I know.
We had a discussion about it, so if you want to know about that, you can go watch that episode.
But what I'm saying is I liked Chase.
Yeah.
I felt like, yes, he made a mistake. He got a girl pregnant in high school, but I think he really cared about the girl. So I was rooting for him throughout that whole entire book. And Des, I was kind of like, eh.
See, and I wonder if this story could have been more interesting from someone else's perspective, or, like we said, if you don't reveal Des's intentions from the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah. Or even, like, from the main servant's point of view. Like, that would have been...
See, my issue with that is I think you would have a harder time hiding some of the reveals.
Maybe.
Unless you don't go into her thoughts and you just hear what she says.
Just, like, the full of real third person.
Yeah.
I don't know. To me, it was a fun read. It was...
yeah. And I don't think it was bad by any means.
Kind of a slasher in book form, and I like those sometimes. But I also felt like...
That's a good way to say it. It's the slasher in book form.
I felt like there was a lot of, like, bashing of rich people. And I'm not talking about, like, the murders and all of that, but, like, just Des's whole outlook on life, like, what you have to do to get ahead in life, I didn't like.
I approve of the bashing of rich people.
I'm not saying I don't.
I know.
I'm not saying that part,
know.
But what I'm saying is, like, I don't agree
She's
with
very jaded.
People. I don't agree with, like,
a
woman or a man being like, well, I'm gonna sleep with you to get where I need to be. Like, I don't like that. You need to have a little bit more respect for yourself.
Yeah.
So, overall, I'm glad we read it once. Would I read it again? No. I'm glad I didn't buy it. I got it from the library.
It's one of those that, if you ask me about it, like, a month from now, I may have to look it up.
Yeah. Well, you'll probably always remember the box, and I'll always remember the concrete. But,
yeah.
I mean, you listened to it a week ago, and I read it 2 weeks ago, and we still kind of struggled through parts of it. So. But if you're looking for a short, quick read that doesn't take much brain power, check this one out.
Yeah. And the audiobook wasn't terrible. It just, again, it wasn't my style.
From the guy who listens to it on, like, 10 times speed.
I only do that because when they're monotone like that, I will fall asleep.
Yeah. I can't do audiobooks. I can't focus. So.
Anyway, I think that's about it.
So,
check it out if it sounds like you'd like it.
I have no idea what we're doing next week, but
From the Red Fog?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Next week we're doing all 5 volumes of From the Red Fog. And then in September we are doing the I Am Legend series. So we're doing the movie I Am Legend, the book Omega Man, Last Man on Earth, and I Am Legend.
Yes.
So, we will see you next week.